There's been a predictable resurgence of advice from so-called experts that we should all start wearing masks again to protect us from COVID. Paul Kelly, the nation's chief medical officer, said he had voluntarily started wearing a mask again a week ago. He said, quote, "The main issue here is protecting the most vulnerable, but it is also about protecting our health system." Protecting it from what? Most Australians have had COVID by now, and all they did was spend a couple of days in bed eating soup and watching Netflix. There's a flu going around Sydney at the moment that most people wish was COVID because it would probably be milder. Nevertheless, Dr. Kelly says that wearing a mask will, quote, "slow the spread." Well, the data disproving this claim is steadily building, and it is a bit more persuasive than Dr. Kelly's platitudes. In the brilliant book Unmasked, American researcher Ian Miller says that the data from Los Angeles, where the mask mandate was strict and compliance was high, quote, "raises questions regarding the proclamations from experts and politicians that masks save lives." Miller says there was, quote, "no apparent benefit to wearing masks. Worse, if LA were a state, it would have ranked 5th in the United States for COVID mortality rate by July 2021, despite the widespread use of masks." Miller also looked at Japan, where there was already a culture of mask wearing and therefore high rates of compliance. Yet he found that, despite the masks, Japan's COVID mortality rate was higher than Pakistan's. Now, Miller says, Japan has the, quote, "highest case rate on Earth." But Dr. Kelly is not the only person recommending Australians start masking up again. Victorian Deputy Premier Jacinta Allen says she has received advice that kids aged 8 and over should wear masks in school, although she graciously conceded that she wouldn't make them compulsory. Well, good luck to any kid defying peer group pressure or the sanctimonious glares from a woke teacher if he or she dares to walk into a classroom unmasked. Some independent schools will impose their own mandates and have already sent a letter to parents saying they, quote, "require students from grade 4 and above to wear a mask indoors unless a health condition requires an exemption." This is not about health. It's about control and instilling in kids a fear of the world against which they feel powerless, not unlike the climate catastrophism that our education system has already brainwashed them into believing. They are as vulnerable to COVID as their schools are to being flooded by rising oceans. The schools planning to impose these restrictions should have a look at this the moment a classroom full of kids is told the masks are coming off.
Starting tomorrow, we don't have to wear masks anymore!
Isn't that just beautiful? If only more adults felt that way about basic freedoms.